How much is Luka Doncic worth?
I don't know that you can put a price tag on it. Honestly, the value that he brings to the franchise, to the NBA, to this organization, it's immeasurable. His marketability, like people from all over the world come to watch him play because of what he means to the NBA and the basketball. It's an honor because I feel like we're going to be champions, and it will be because of Luka. So
how do you go from that to doing a shadow deal just 2 weeks later? And people like Charles Barkley think it's all because he's fat?
The Mavs obviously had to make a decision this summer whether to give him 5 years, $350 million. That's a lot of money to give a guy you don't think can stay in shape who's always going to be hurt.
We're all grasping at straws here, trying to make sense of all this. I mean, only in the NBA does Luka get traded before Zion for being out of shape. And how are you going to say he's injury prone and then trade him for a guy who's more injury prone and a whopping 6 years older?
Well, I mean, that's their decision, so I have no comment on that. They made a decision. I don't know why.
It's simple. Luka Doncic was totally betrayed by the Dallas Mavericks. Now, let's see if we can come up with a reasonable reason considering everything we now know. When Mark Cuban first took over the Mavs in 2000, Dirk Nowitzki was barely the face of the franchise. This franchise, which had never won an NBA title, stood firmly with little-known Nowitzki. In fact, it wasn't until Nowitzki was 24 years old before he made his first NBA All-Star team. Fast forward 25 years later, and the new Dallas owners can't get behind a 25-year-old, five-time NBA All-Star player who just took them to the NBA Finals. But it's not only the ownership that's changed, it's the times and what the game's supposed to be about. This wasn't just a trade. It felt like a straight-up betrayal, not just to Luka, but to the spirit of the Mavs. From Dirk to Luka, they had their icons. But now, it's like they lost sight of what made them special. Luka was meant to be that dude. He was supposed to retire in Dallas because he loved the city.
Dallas poštuje celo mesto Dallas, pomagal je in otrokom, ni mu bil problem hoditi in po bolnicah in po, ne vem, sirotišnicah in po te dobrodelne stvari.
He and his dad, Sasha Doncic, have come a long way in Dallas.
Luka. Vidite, tukaj je zatopljen v igro, da sploh noče pogovarjati.
Mi smo tekli na krožju.
Usmeril se bo, kamor se bo hotel sam, kar mu bo najbolj pasal.
Doncic's relationship with Dallas as a whole was wholesome, and trading him in the shadowy way they did is heartbreaking. It's like they forgot the whole point of building a franchise around a superstar. Dirk Nowitzki proved that you could win championships with that strategy. So they were lucky to land Dirk 2.0, and the player was all in on Dallas.
I find it extremely disrespectful. I find it horrific bad business for you just to go and do this. And I'm also not buying that J. Kidd just didn't know. I know you have to keep it in-house. I know you have to keep it close to tight, especially nowadays with social media, and Sham somehow gets in there and finds everything out. But I just think this is bad business when you draft this guy, this dude just bought a $15 million house, just closed like last week in Dallas. Apparently he cried like when he found out. And this is your everything, who took you to the conference finals last year. I just find it extreme BS.
That was to show that he was ready to be a part of the city for the long haul. But the Mavs, they didn't even give him the courtesy of a heads up. Luka Doncic was the face of the franchise, as well as the beating heart of the city's fans, yet he had no say in his own trade. Reports say he was in tears when he heard about it. Doncic also posted the missed calls he received from Nico Harrison after it had happened. They didn't give him the respect he deserved as the franchise's star. It's like they forgot all about loyalty, or at least having a chat with the guy who's been carrying the team. This isn't just business. It's personal when you don't even clue in your MVP.
It's hard because everybody knows it's a business and everybody uses that excuse. And I always tell myself, he just got transferred to another department, right? Just got transferred to another office, still in the NBA, but it trades an admission that you need something or you did something wrong.
For anyone who's unsure whether the Mavs did something wrong, well, the fans are angry and asking for a refund. And on his debut, Dallas is already getting the full AD experience. Powerful two-way game followed by a no-contact injury. The whole thing reeks of a lack of respect for Luka, who had given everything to the team. No heads up, no courtesy, just a trade that changes everything. This isn't how you treat a superstar, especially one who just took you to the NBA Finals and still has enough years to get better and bring home the title. One aspect of this trade that's very painful is the fact that the Dallas Mavericks don't have a lot of franchise players in their history. Unlike the Lakers, who get one every decade, Dallas really only had Dirk Nowitzki and then Luka. What's more, one thing that separates superstars like Luka from, let's say, Jimmy Butler is their ability to attract other superstars. Kyrie Irving came to Dallas just to play with Luka, and after a slow start, they formed a chemistry that was clutch for the team. They were supposed to take things further when they added Klay Thompson, and like last season, they're having a slow start, but it's nothing that can't change. If the Mavs could make it to the finals last season, there's absolutely no reason to doubt them this season. So why trade? And why AD? Well, according to Nico Harrison, he has some sort of chemistry with Coach Jason Kidd and knows what he wants.
J. Kidd didn't know about it, but J. Kidd and I are aligned, and we talk about archetypes, and we talk about the culture that we want to create. So I know the type of players that he likes without actually talking to him. Hey.
Well, from the look on Coach Kidd's face, he should have called first before concluding. And that's another issue about this trade. Why not make it open and try to get a better deal? Why settle for an injury-prone player who probably only has 4 or 5 years of good basketball left in him? Imagine if the Mavs had traded Nowitzki in 2006 after he led them to their first NBA Finals. Now, imagine if he was traded for an injury-prone superstar. Dallas would probably still be waiting for its first NBA title. Dallas was apparently in win-now mode, thinking AD could push them over the edge for a title. But here's the kicker. Luka was already doing that. He just took them to the finals. His potential is off the charts, and he's not even in his prime. Luka could have been the Mavs' answer for the next decade, not just the next season. And about those conditioning issues, why not handle it internally? Luka's a competitor. He'd respond to some tough love or a fitness resume from the team. Instead of shipping him out, couldn't they have put him on a strict diet or workout plan? Disciplinary actions, a coach's hard talk, anything but trading him away. It's like they gave up on shaping their star instead of helping him grow. But now, the deed is done, and Luka's already feeling at home in LA.
I gotta get Luka. Hey, go.
Doncic had a couple of friends in Dallas, but he and Kyrie were something special. They were electric and had chemistry that you just can't buy. Luka with his magic, Kyrie with his clutch moments, they were a match made in basketball heaven. But Luka already had a friend in Dodo waiting on him when he landed in LA. For Mavs fans, this is a gut punch. They've only had a handful of legends, Aguirre, Dirk, and now Luka. You lose one of those, it's like losing a piece of the team's soul. Meanwhile, the Lakers are about to get away with another steal. There was this moment too, where Luka and Dorian Finney-Smith were talking about heading to LA together. But nah, the Mavs front office didn't roll with that plan. They could have kept some homegrown vibe, but they chose a different path. According to Nico Harrison, this path would better position them to win a second championship in the near future. And if this trade is anything to go by, it means the Mavs management are hoping that Doncic would fail in LA, that he would grow fat and be like Zion Williamson. But like Doncic, he was always ready to prove his critics wrong.
So it's a motive. I know it's not true. I know, but it's a motive. Like I said, I came here, one of the biggest clubs in history of sports, so it's a big motive for a long run here.
Dallas fans saw Luka Doncic as the next great chapter in their team's story. He was expected to surpass Dirk Nowitzki's legacy, and all he needed to do that was an owner like Mark Cuban. But the Addison family are into gambling, and they've made their bet. But the date is February 25th, when the Mavs will be coming to LA. Will the Mavs overpower the Lakers, proving Nico Harrison right? Or will Luka go on a vendetta like he did against the Hawks in that 73-point game? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this trade, watch our video on what NBA legends are saying about Luka Doncic.